Hello and welcome to this special edition of Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah, and I have in the studio with me two of my absolutely favorite girls. Emphasis girls, because I'm telling you, we're going to talk about some very, very important stuff to do with African unity and the sixth region and all that. But as usual, before we go into it, you have to hear the jangle. Jermaine Sango coming right up. Stay tuned. In today's jangle, I think I'm going to repeat something that I've already done. But and for me to repeat it, you have to know how important it is to me, and it must be to you as well. We Africans, we travel all around the world and face racism, and we're angry. Oh, how come white people are treating us like that? How come Chinese people are treating us like that? And we think it's the worst thing that can ever happen. And then we come home, and guess what? We come home and discriminate against ourselves. Maybe somebody has a bright idea about how that is what we do on the continent is okay, but what they do there is not okay. And so for me, I think if you really, really abhor racism, which everybody must abhor, that should be the fire that drives you to fight against the tribalism that goes on our continent. Because come to think of it, at least white, black, Chinese, black, you can tell the difference. Look at their skin look like this. Ours look like this. There's a clear difference. But we have a problem when this one discriminates against this one. But when we come home, it's okay for this one to discriminate against this one. I don't get that part. And so if you're watching today, I think let this be something that you think about. When you come on a continent, this person is from here, this person is from here. If you are black, we're on the same team. That's how it should be, over there on the diaspora and back home on Africa soil. So today, that's the jangle. Stay tuned and you meet my amazing guests.
As the national regulator of the communications industry in Ghana, the National Communications Authority seeks to ensure an environment that is safe and fair for consumers and service providers. NCA grants licenses and authorizations for operation of communication systems and services, develops guidelines to streamline communication activities, establish and monitor quality of service indicators for operators and service providers. NCA is in 8 regions: Accra, Tamale, Takoradi, Kumasi, Ho, Koforidua, Sunyani, and Bolgatanga. Do you have unresolved complaints with your service providers? Contact us on 0800110662, 0307011419 between the hours of 8 o'clock a.m. and 5 o'clock p.m. from Monday to Friday, or visit our website at www.nca.org.gh and follow the procedure for filing a complaint or submitting enquiry. National Communications Authority, Communications for Development.
Hello and welcome. Again, this is a special edition of Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah, and you're watching Diaspora Network Television. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We're all present in all social media platforms. Web portals, www.dntghana.com. You can find everything there. Before you meet my guests, let me give a plug to Tap Tap Send. Have you ever heard of Tap Tap Send? This is a no-fee, excellent money transfer, secure. You can tap on the link that shows up at the bottom of this show. And if you use the DNT code to download the app, you get $10 free in your wallet for your first transaction, £5, €5. And this Tap Tap Send, they've been around for quite a while. They operate from UK, but you can send money from virtually all countries in Europe, Italy, Germany, France, and to about 19 African countries. You can send them from Canada and US as well. They're in 42 of the 50 states, and they're working to complete the 50 states. So tap, send, your favorite money transfer app. Today, we're fortunate to be joined in the studio by my favorite girls. Her Excellency Ambassador Erica Bennett. Hello and welcome.
Thank you, Junior.
Head of DAF, Diaspora Affairs Forum, right?
Diaspora
African Forum. There you go.
Yeah.
Every time I say diaspora, the affairs follow automatically. Diaspora Africa Forum.
Absolutely.
And then we're also joined by Mama T. I always like to call her Mama T. Her name is Dr. Tony Luck. I don't even know if your home is South Africa or here, but you have one leg on in both countries. Is that what I understand? Okay,
I do.
good.
Yes.
We fight for her.
You fight
Everybody
for her.
Yes.
Well, we have to bring her back. We have to bring her.
we fight for her.
Okay,
That's for
very
sure.
good, very good. And Dr. Tony Luck, aka Mama T, is a founding member of Diaspora Africa Forum. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. It's not usual that I get two heavyweights together, but we'll get right into it. Ambassador, tell me, how are things? You're looking amazing. You guys looking awesome. How
Jermaine,
do you do it?
this is our time, meaning the diaspora time. Absolutely.
Okay.
And we're just so very excited to begin this month, February 1st, which is Black History Month.
Okay.
We are so excited to be able to talk about what we're doing and the opportunities for the diasporas all over the world. First of all, I want to, before I start, is to congratulate you.
Right.
You're really one of our celebrity diasporas.
Okay, thank you.
You know, and what you're doing here is just exactly what we need done around the world.
Absolutely.
So I applaud you very, very
I
much.
appreciate that.
I know of the
appreciate that.
personal sacrifices that you've made and to make this happen. So we really want to say congratulations. And when we thought about celebrating the first day of Black History Month, this was exactly where we
This
wanted
is
to
it. And
DNT.
This, even though they're going to watch it probably this Saturday, today is February 1st. So this is the beginning
Absolutely.
of Black History Month.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And interestingly, Black History Month has been mostly celebrated in United States. But come to think of it, it should be celebrated globally by all people of African descent.
That's what I think is going to happen.
I
don't
think
you
it. Yeah, I
think?
think. Yeah, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think. Well, actually, I think it is happening.
I think so too.
Because the Caribbean now does it, and in parts of Europe, they also recognize this is Black History Month, and they have certain kind of activities and speeches. I think it's caught on. You
Okay.
know.
And I know we're going to talk about the sixth region, but since today being the first day of Black History Month and everything, do you think that there has to be more done to incorporate, because the Black History Month that I know is mostly centered on activities of African Americans fighting racism, their rights, slavery, and all that. But come to think of it, I think we should include the fight against neocolonialism, because it is part of Black history. So where do you see that happening?
Well, you know, first of all, in America, Black history does not just deal with the atrocities of the American apartheid and the slavery, but also the contributions that African Americans have made to the well-being, development, expansion of America. And so every day somewhere in the United States, now more educated schools will celebrate, you know, a George Washington Carver, or they'll celebrate a Martin Luther King, or they'll celebrate even a Marcus Garvey. So we're awake. They'll celebrate Shirley Chisholm or C. Dolores Tucker, all the famous women, Maya Angelou. So it's not just us recounting the horrors that we enjoyed between slavery and Jim Crow, but also celebrating and recognizing the major, unbelievable contributions that African Americans have made to the development of the United States of America.
And currently making. It's not just those who made
Yes,
the
and
transition,
it's continually
but
making.
it's those who are there now and who are doing phenomenal kinds of things. So it's a celebration.
Okay.
And it's very exciting, and we're really looking forward to the next 28
phase.
days.
There you go. The
We're
next
gonna
28
be, yes,
Okay.
we're celebrating for 28 days.
Yeah. And by the way, guess what? The Treasury Department put Maya Angelou on a quarter. Did you hear about that?
No, but I'm not surprised. I'm happy.
Maya Angelou is now on a quarter.
A quarter.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you know, they were going to put, they were talking about putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. And it's still in the conversation, actually, to put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill. But Maya Angelou on a quarter, how lovely is that?
Yeah, I think this happened. They started minting it about a month ago or something.
Wow, it didn't make major news. We should have seen it everywhere.
Yeah, we carried it.
Which is why, which is why we need.
This is why we need you.
That's why we need you,
You know,
because
I really must say that every day I look, and that's why I love the fact that you're sticking with the news piece of it. That's what I
Yes,
really like.
yes,
because
I do like it.
every day I look on it, and sometimes you tell us stuff before CNN or any of the other
Anybody
news.
else.
We're proud to say that.
Yeah.
and also he tells us stuff that nobody even tells us.
Yeah.
He even tells us later.
Yeah.
Your network, your news is just outstanding.
I appreciate that.
No, just
we're
outstanding.
working on it. We're working on it. Sixth region.
News.
Sixth region
News.
news.
This is news.
Breaking news.
Breaking
Breaking
news.
news.
Yeah, we
Sixth
want to say
region.
breaking news.
First of all, I know you know what sixth region is, but to the guy listening, what is the sixth region?
Well, in 2002, in Durban, when it was changed from the OAU to the AU, the presidents got together and talked about the changing of the names and talked about the emphasis that they would be placing on health and education and sports and that kind of thing. And I was sitting there listening very attentively, and I didn't hear them say anything about the diaspora. So during the break, I went to President Kufuor, who was president at the time, and I said, Mr. President, President of Ghana at the time, yes. I said, in order to move Africa forward, can you say you must include the diaspora? And he said, absolutely. And then he went to President Wade, who was the president at that time, and he said, you know,
Who was the
chairman of the
African Union?
And president of Senegal.
Okay.
Yeah, the former president of Senegal. And he went to him, and President Wade said, yeah, we'll not only say it's important for the diaspora, but we will create it as the sixth region of Africa. So what he was saying is that all the diasporians outside, and see, there's two types of diasporians. We are considered the historical diaspora. You are considered the continental diaspora. We were taken from slavery, and you migrated for work, study. So he did that. And then Sissy will tell you what happened in 2012.
But I just want to back up just 1 second so that you get a context. Africa had 5 regions internally, which we're going to discuss: North, South, East, West, and Central. So those were the 5 regions already encapsulated inside the map of Africa, if you will.
That's good.
And then when Ambassador Bennett mentioned, and it went to the 6th region idea that came into the head of President Wade, is like, there's another region that belongs to Africa that we have been ignoring that is African, and that is the diaspora, both continental and historical.
So you guys are the architect of the 6th region.
Well, we don't want to take
Not
that
the architect, but at least the originator of that idea.
We were moved
Okay.
We
to have,
nudged.
yes,
We
to
nudged.
have President Kufuor talked to President Watt.
And
then we were involved in the process the whole time.
All right.
And we'll talk about that. But, you know, it always happens like that, Jermaine, that one word is said.
And then
it triggers something that's
reaction
that really is in the earth, you know, and so God used Ambassador that way to really trigger. Please consider the diasporans. And so
I like that word. So you triggered.
We triggered.
Like
and you have to understand who we're talking to too. We're talking to President Kufuor, who comes out of an environment of Pan-Africanism. I mean, when Mr. Nkrumah became president, the first place he went was to the United States, brought back W.E. Du Bois and several other luminaries of African American history to come back and share the liberation movement of Ghana.
Right.
And that energy has permeated at least half of the countries in Africa.
Right.
And of course, you know, was a stellar part of, you know, Colonel Gaddafi's mandate, and to really bring Africa together, all of Africa, the children inside, the children outside, and the children that were taken.
Okay.
So there was a spiritual, if you will, energy that caught Ambassador Bennett, and who'd been working before then, 10 years before then, on a company that we had called The Bridge. And The Bridge was designed in her spirit to bridge the divide.
The Atlantic.
Bridge the Atlantic, yes. And to bridge the divide. And, you know, we grew up in an America that's main purpose was to keep us separated from Africa.
Absolutely.
And they weren't shy about it. They said it. And so in the womb of time, she was just motivated all those years. So when she's sitting in that meeting, and remember, things are changing. The OAU is becoming the African Union. So it is a moment in time that change is happening. So, you know, when you get that wave, and that's the one thing about Ambassador Bennett that's so amazing, to have the spiritual intuitiveness, to know the signs of the time.
You're coming up with some terms, spiritual intuitive.
Yeah, because everybody doesn't have it. You know, some things pass people by. You know, but over the years of being her sister too, she doesn't miss those times. I mean, sometimes it's like
It's almost second nature.
It's a second nature, but sometimes it's a pain in the you know where, because we got to move differently. And she says, "No, it's time," and we're saying it's not time. Yes, time. And you know, I have to honestly say, 9.5 out of 10 times it was time.
Right.
And we just decided, well, let's go, because you know, sometimes she doesn't wait and say she's gone. So we got to catch her. You know, like she said, catch me on the way. I'm gone. You know. So that was a moment in time that was wrapped up in the womb of time.
Okay. So
and she hit it.
So why? Some would say, why do we need the 6th region?
Why don't we need the 6th region?
That's the bet, yes.
There you go.
That's the question. When you think, Jermaine, of particularly those as an African American, we need alternatives. You see, I don't even mention the former person that was running the countries, but they felt trapped. They felt that they did not have an alternative. And that's one of the things that the presidents have done, and that's one of the things that we're working on, is creating an environment so that particularly the African Americans can come home. We know we can come to a country and feel at home there. So that's the question. And particularly with us, you know, people say we're very emotional, and you know, when some of our people come, they kiss the ground, and it is an emotional thing. When you've been taken away and you don't have a culture,
a language,
you don't have a language. I mean, that is something that when you get it, or somebody's offering it to you, it is very emotional.
Yeah. And I would like to span America to the North American captivity.
Yes.
Because that includes all of the Caribbean, and it includes what is known as South America. But for example, there are 85 million recognized African Brazilians. So when we say that part of the world, that North American captivity,
Caribbean, South America,
and which includes America, South America, Canada, and the Caribbean, all of that group of people are, if we want to talk about Africa, are stateless. We're stateless.
And you know, I want to touch on something about people, you know, Africans in the diaspora, the historical diaspora. When they come down and they touch the ground, they kiss the ground. I want you guys to touch on the emotional aspect, because I witnessed just what I called a simple ceremony in Cape Coast during the ADDI thing, trip. And they were given African names. And they were crying.
Absolutely.
And to some of us, we're like, that's just a name. Why are you
But
crying?
but even prior to that, even prior to that trip, you witnessed the Mother Fletcher trip.
Yes.
Where there were 20 African Americans came with a 107-year-old woman and a 100-year-old brother. And they got names twice. They got names when they went to the Gamancha, and then they got names when they went to the.
How emotional is that?
It was very. Well, you talked to
you
them.
guys
It was
would be able
heartwarming.
to touch on, because I cannot feel it. You see what I'm saying? Because
and you know, Jermaine, exactly. I'm glad you said that, because that is something that continental diasporians or the people in Africa don't understand. They really don't, because you grew up, you know, with your name. You grew up with knowing your
language,
relatives,
you know everything. Yes,
and we can talk probably about 3 generations
maybe
back,
10,
or even more. You see, but when you're in a situation and you really, really, I can't tell you past our great grandmother
where we are from.
Yeah, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you what language we were and all of that. You know, today you can do your DNA, and I think that Gina Page does a wonderful job in terms of the African ancestry. I think that really does. That gives you a starting point. You know, it gives you something to say, well, maybe I was from this area, and then you can go and investigate that. But it is emotional. And, you know, and oftentimes I hear particularly Ghanaians or Nigerians saying, well, why are they so emotional
What's
about
the big
stuff?
deal?
You know, why are they so emotional about stuff? And it really is emotional.
Because now we may be capturing, all right, 3 years ago, I was the first our brother and myself, we were the first children of slave, you know, because we're only 3 generations from slavery. I mean, we knew our great-grandmother and our grandmother. Our great-grandmother was a slave, and I mean, a slave taken. And then our grandmother was a slave born, you know, and no matter how pretty we look, we have 7 generations. I mean, 7 decades here. So we've known those. We lived in a house with 3 or 4 generations of women who had stories. But I was able, and our brother, Abdul, we were the first to come back through a door of return at Badagry, Nigeria. And I'm telling you, first of all, when we came, the people looked like us. How we got picked, but we looked like we were family in some incarnation, right? Then, but the thing for us, we went on the same boat. We went on the same boat ride. We walked about 5 miles. Then we went on the same boat ride that our ancestors left. And then we came through the door of return at Badagry. And of course was greeted.
The 2 of you were the first.
And we were the first I was the first woman, he was the first male. Of any of our ancestors to connect to a place. So remember, we don't have a place. So hopefully one of the galvanizing parts of the 6th region recognition is that now there's a place, maybe not, you don't know which of the 55 countries, we pretty much know most of it's the West Coast, but now there's a place that we can at least hang our hat on, that we're part of a group of people that recognize. Remember now, when we talk about Black History Month, they act like our life started with slavery.
No, it started from
But you understand, the way American books read in school and telling the story, our life as Black people started in slavery. In fact, our life in slavery kind of just started in the North American captivity.
We're gonna go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll touch a little bit on that, and then we'll go to Diaspora Africa Forum.
Yes.
This is a special edition of Diaspora Weekly. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What's cool, fresh and trendy with a new look? Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. Satisfies you right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you glow. Anytime, anywhere. Natural mineral water. Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hello and welcome to this special edition of Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah, and I'm joined by Her Excellency Ambassador Erica Bennett, head of Diaspora Africa Forum, and then a founding member, Mama T, Dr. Tony Luck. You're a Jersey girl.
No, actually, I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York.
Actually, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes.
And you are?
Well, actually, I was born in South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Well, these are my favorite ladies, and we're talking about...
Oh, we elevated now from girls
We're
to
not
ladies.
girls anymore.
Oh.
My favorite, see?
I don't mind.
I knew it. Favorite girl. My favorite girls.
We'll take girls.
We'll take girls.
We don't.
Okay.
We don't have that insult. We have
My favorite girls.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go
We
to
like
ladies
that.
again.
We like that,
My
actually.
favorite girls.
You saw what happened today when I was getting ready to get my wallet for lunch, and you said I got lunch. I put my wallet
Yes,
back. I
and
said
you
I'm a
said
girl.
you-
I said I'm a girl.
No problem. We were talking about the emotional aspect of the connection back to the motherland. And we're going to go to Diaspora Africa Forum in just a minute, but I wanted to touch on something you said about the ancestry thing. Mm-hmm. Now, when you do your ancestry, it tells you, it pinpoints you to the country. Mm-hmm. Some of us are thinking that maybe African Union or those individual countries should consider this. If I'm African American or from Trinidad and Tobago, from Barbados, and I do my DNA and it points me to Ivory Coast, Ghana, and if I want to apply for citizenship, can they use those bases for your approval? Because right now, and before you go, you know, everybody is coming to Ghana, but I know the continent is bigger than Ghana. There are people whose DNA will place them in Zambia or whatever. Should there be that kind of a program?
There is that kind of program.
Okay.
And let me share two things with you.
Okay.
One is the Diaspora Africa Forum. One of the things that we've been able to do is help the various countries. People sometimes get us confused and think we're just here in Ghana.
Okay.
But we represent the 55 African countries.
Okay.
And one
You
of
just
the,
happen to be in
we're
Our
based-
headquarters.
Our
South Africa.
headquarters is in
Okay.
Ghana. And one of the things that we've been able to do is we have helped set up 40 diaspora desks in 40 countries
Okay.
in the foreign ministries
Okay.
around Africa.
Very good.
That's number one. Number two, we've also been able to help some of the countries answering your question. Like a couple weeks ago, Sierra Leone gave 35 citizenships based on their DNA. Yes. So some of the countries are doing that right now.
Okay.
Nigeria has a policy, a diaspora policy, which says that it gives you point by point what you need to do, how do you get Nigerian citizenship.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that we have helped here in Ghana as well, is that we helped our brother, helped write the bill. He, diaspora, we gave some suggestions, and with Rabbi Cohen and stuff, and we gave suggestions in terms of what we would like to see in the bill. The bill is now written and it's in Parliament.
Okay.
But it's already about almost 170 have been done, right? Citizenships, almost 170.
Oh, no, that's one of the things that Ghana has done.
That
Ghana has
done.
given citizenship. We were the first 34, and then they gave another 120 something, and then they're talking about
So you're a
doing it
Ghanaian
again.
citizen.
Yeah,
I
she's
am.
Ghanaian.
We have dual citizenship.
Dual citizenship.
Yeah, we both do.
Well, what's your name?
Akuya.
And I'm Afua.
You're Friday and you're Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Is there another Ghanaian name following the Kua or just?
Actually, we did get them during the ceremony with Mother Fletcher.
Okay.
But don't force us with our flat American tongues to do it. So you got lucky with a Fua and a Kua. Don't try it.
Don't go
At least give it a shot.
We can give it a shot off camera, but we have a reputation to maintain.
Spell it for us.
No, I'm not even going to try it.
Akuya.
A Fua.
Afua.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
So far.
That's as far as you're willing to go. This is actually the perfect entry into Diaspora Africa Forum. You see, my tongue for some reason.
Once it calls it
can't roll.
Diaspora Affairs.
Yeah, Diaspora Africa
African
Forum.
Yes.
Tell us about it. How did it come about?
Well, in 2007, President Kufuor, I sat on his advisory council, business advisory council, and every meeting I'd say something about the diaspora. And he was just, I think he was just tired of me saying diaspora, and the committee would say, here comes Miss Diaspora again. And so what he did was, he set up a diaspora ministry, which the late Jake headed that ministry. Yes. And he was very helpful to us, too. He was a wonderful man,
Absolutely.
And he started various projects, and he helped us really establish.
The Joseph Project.
The Joseph Project.
We were part of the Joseph Project,
Absolutely.
yes.
Right.
And so during that period, after Jake became the minister, then I was still called the Diaspora, Miss Diaspora. And they'd say, oh, here she comes again. So
that's pretty tempting. From now, maybe I will
call her Miss Diaspora. Wait. Ambassador Diaspora.
Ambassador Diaspora. Yeah, that's.
Well, in Nigeria, they call me Mama Diaspora.
Mama Diaspora.
Yeah, they really do.
How do you call a girl Mama? Yeah, it's my favorite girls. And now
only you for girls. Everybody else calls us, Mama. Yeah.
So I'm
Mama.
exclusive.
We're just letting you. Yeah,
I'm
you're
exclusive.
Yes.
Only you.
Only you.
All right,
right.
I got it.
And so what happened was the government gave us the land grant at the W.E.B. Du Bois Center.
Okay.
And
well, before that though, 2002 is when Ambassador Bennett triggered, and then it was there. Okay, so by 2004 though, because we've always learned to be proactive, and as she always says, Mama and Grandmama say, don't do a lot less talking and more delivering. And so we got some groups together, some people together. People were interested in talking, and we formed a committee, which we really weren't looking to be head of anything. We just wanted people talking.
Right.
And it was kind of a coup that created the Diaspora Africa Forum, because there were people there who were going in exactly the opposite direction of any Pan-Africanism, any kind of Ubuntu.
I know those guys.
I don't have to tell you that, right? And so the ambassador said, no, we are going to solidify something. We were there for 3 days. We're going to solidify something today.
Yeah.
And whoever's with us is with us, and whoever wants to go on and do whatever they're doing, may they go and do that.
Why do you think there's such a resistance? I've never understood why people resist any effort that's bringing people together. I mean, what can it hurt?
It hurts because if you have your own little tiny place, you're the big fish. If you have to now widen your place, there'll be some other fish. So that's the problem. So if all of us stay in our little silos with our own little ideas, then we're the big hill. This is one of the reasons why, unfortunately, politically and all that Africa can't be won.
I was going there.
Because now we got 55 heads of state who want what they
I
have.
am the president of Zamunda and all the things. To me, if Zamunda becomes part of a big tent, I'm just now a governor.
Maybe.
Is that driving
that's
it?
kind of what it is. But also, Jermaine, you know, without disparaging, that's the human condition. So you have to learn to
be
give.
Bigger than that.
Yeah, but it takes a long time. I mean, here's one. It takes a long time.
If I can do it, you want to tell me these old folks who are paid to think for Africa can't figure it out? But as I sit here today, if you want me to be a part of a bigger African thing, a bigger black thing globally, and the only thing I have to do is reduce my prominence, I'll do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but that's your consciousness. But that's your consciousness, which is what she said.
One of the things that I really want to just kind of tune to get back to that, and I really want to talk specifically about the diaspora movement. You see, and one of the things that I think is our biggest detraction is instead of collaborating, we compete with each other.
That's it.
You see, and when you collaborate, you can always do it better when you're together.
Yes.
And that's one of the, I think, the successes of DAF, is that that's what we do very well. We could not, you know, we have a relatively small staff, and everything we do, we collaborate with
somebody else.
With somebody else.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah.
So that's very, I mean, very, very important.
And here's the benefit.
But it comes from our understanding of the bridge.
Yeah.
Remember, this started the bridge. And so when you have a bridge, you have two sides to a bridge. So when someone leaves one side, they're going somewhere to someone else. So the whole prophetic word of her creating this company called the Bridge to bridge this.
You see, my thing
divide.
is, and this is for me, is academic and it's intellectual, and this continent is filled with PhDs. What is so difficult about the fact that if we come together and we're bigger, right? Look at the United States. A corporate CEO can fly into Ghana and say, hey, I'm doing this, and they roll out the red carpet. He gets to meet with the president. Tell me a CEO from this African continent who goes to America to do business and say, I want to meet the president of the United States, and say, oh yeah, come on. Because we don't see the value of a bigger tent. You understand?
We understand.
And why is it so difficult that with all our PhDs and stuff, we still don't get it? That's the part that I don't get.
One of the points I want to talk about is it is a divide and conquer kind of syndrome.
Yes.
You see, I mean, our light expression people or people with power don't necessarily want to see us come together. Because if we come together, the kind of power that we would have in the world.
I get that.
So
you need to really get that.
It's a divide and conquer kind of thing. I want you, and that's what they do to us at all, the continental and the historical diasporas.
Yes.
They tell you, as a continental diaspora, you're better than the African Americans, the historical ones.
So why do we keep buying into that?
We do.
We do.
We do.
Because we like it. Because remember now, this can be a whole show, which I would recommend you do.
Yeah.
We have been literally brainwashed against ourselves. So that's a whole psychological discussion that I really would hope you would have.
And trust me, I'll do that
because you need to understand now. You know, there's a major psychologist like Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, who is now late, who wrote the ISIS papers, and to try to help us understand even our own psychosis. So I do better if she's doing worse. Because remember, we have the plantation, we have the house Negro and the field Negro, and who's going to tell and who gets more from massa. So all of that's been inculcated in our DNA, if you will.
I get all that, but I'm saying that now, today, if it was back in the 1800s, 19-something, I can understand it. Now, we have what it takes intellectually.
It's worse.
To counter that.
No, it's worse.
I mean,
let me tell you who's
better. They can have their power, we want to divide them. That's their goal. But what is our goal?
It's the smarter people who are worse than the less educated.
Okay.
The less educated, even when we're doing farm programs or we're getting water programs, which DAF does, the local people will come together because they figured out if we all could go together, we can get a well. If we all can give our little land, we could get 2 wells or 4 wells. It's the smart people who say, no, let me keep my well to myself because then I can make my own water and then I can bottle my own water and then I can sell it to the neighbors.
And be celebrated exclusively. Like I'm better than the rest of them.
There you go. So I'm telling you, it's a show for another day, and we are here to talk about our 6 week with the flag. We got to go back to the flag.
We have to, but we're gonna have to go on a break first before we bring in Professor.
Please, yes.
But before you leave, Mama T.
Yes.
I know that you are associated. You're doing something here in Ghana with Dominion TV. Are we still there? Or?
Yes, we are.
Would you like to tell us about that?
Well, absolutely. Lady Rosa is amazing. Lady Rosa Whitaker,
Okay.
who Duncan Williams, of course, married to the Archbishop Duncan Williams, and she has created in her genius a Christian lifestyle network called Dominion TV, and she wants to expand it beyond the normal Christian television, which is preaching and singing, and to have all kind of lifestyle conversations, including talking to you about news. Not having a news desk, but having a news connection. And then having talk shows and conversations, because in that world, not just Christian, but Muslim, in the world of religion, we have decided that there are some topics off limits. But those are the very topics that are hurting society. So she's got a wonderful vision for that. So,
and you are playing a role there.
Well, I'm helping a little
Very
bit.
good.
Yeah, but I'm here. It seems like, I got here for one thing, and Ambassador Bennett has me.
I was going there when she said she's fighting for you. I didn't know what she meant. It seemed like she's fighting to get you from SA to come over here.
Yeah.
Now you're here. She's fighting you to stay down.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But
DAF is in my heart. But it's really her baby. She has sacrificed, and I do want to say this last thing before I'm off air. She's taken a lot of slings and arrows, and her back is full of
I
holes.
see the scars.
But people don't understand. She doesn't get a darn thing. We don't make. Let me tell you. We don't make no money. In fact, we spend all of our money. We don't have 20 million Facebook hits because this work is not super popular. It should be. With 250 million diasporans, DAF should have 20 million on our roster. We really
go there.
We really should. I'm just saying.
Don't go there.
But she never quits. She never stops, because the legacy spirit that's in her for the betterment of Ubuntu and unity and Pan-Africanism keeps driving her. And some days I'm like, really, can't we quit and go on a cruise? Let's take this money this year, and while we go on a cruise around the world.
Bitten by the bug.
You can't.
She's bitten by the bug. But I think she came from heaven, like God was saying, who's going to deal with these crazy people, and she volunteered.
And talking about the hits, and I want to thank you for joining us, because I know the Prof will be joining you. When you look at the people who have the social media hits, and you look at what he's doing, what I'm doing, and you look at our hits, you start to scratch our head like, wait a minute, what's going on? Me, somebody dressed skimpy, bikini, she'll have 1 million hits in a flash.
Yeah, because we've taught people how to love fast food. We've taught people how to love fast food and skin.
But important stuff.
No, we don't want that. That's too much. I have to think.
It's consciousness again.
It's too much consciousness.
That's the word we have to say.
Okay. Look, this is, we're going on a quick break. When we come back, Professor will join us, the designer of the flag. This is a special edition of Diaspora Weekly. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
What's cool, fresh and trendy with a new look? Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. life just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes it flow. Anytime, anywhere. Specialized, feel different. Always think specialized. Special Ice Natural Mineral Water. Feel different. Think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hello and welcome back. This is a special edition of Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah, and in the earlier segments, I was joined by my favorite girls, because if I say ladies again, I'm going to get beat up here. But now we have a new guest, and I would like Ambassador Erica Bennett to do the introduction for us. Who do we have with us?
Jermaine, we have a creative genius.
Creative genius.
Creative genius. He is a man, a architect by one of his professions, but he writes, he paints the flag. He created the flag. And so when I think of him, someone earlier called him an avatar.
Avatar.
Yes.
That's
you know,
huge.
someone who's not of this world, of another world in terms of creativity.
Yeah.
So that's who I would describe him. And I really like him, you see, and we're just so honored. Daff is so honored. I like him.
You like him better than I. I'm starting to get jealous.
You
now.
getting jealous?
Yeah.
Well, you should get jealous. You should get jealous.
Okay.
Because I really, really, what he's doing for Daff and what he's doing for Africa and his commitment to Africa is beyond even talking about.
Wow.
So I really do mean that, Professor, and you know I do.
Professor.
And yes.
Professor Kwame Ado.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
And with this type of trumpet to introduce you, what did you do to take my place? That's all I want to say.
Yes. No. First and foremost, so I'm very happy to be on this program. And again, I always said that when I'm going to interact, the best way I come out is clearly when I'm with my sisters. They bring out the best in me.
With your sister?
So I think, yes.
Okay. I'm very happy to hear that part. Your sister.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you designed this flag.
Yes.
All right. And it's a flag of the 6th region.
Yes.
We've talked about the 6th region being the, in terms of within the context of African Union. And so when you sat down to design this flag, how did you start and what was the thinking? Because designers go into, you go, okay, I'm going to approach it this way. Tell us about how did you come up with this beautiful design?
Yes, thank you. Actually, a design, starts somewhere and ends somewhere. It's out of inspiration. But in this particular case, I've been working with topics and themes which are always concerning integration, of trying to bring things together. As an architect, as a designer, as a writer, as a musician.
Okay.
We like to bring things together and come up with a thing.
Okay.
So when that was possible, it was easier to see how something like this would go through. But in terms of Africa specifically, I've been working a lot on the maps of Africa and understanding what is in it, what is Africa made out of in terms of its resources, its infrastructure trajectories, and economic activities, to shed light on what the continent is made out of, so that we can understand what we really are, what we really have, and so that when we are embracing the diaspora, we can have a better synergy of understanding. And remember, apart from the fact of that information which went into trying to sensitize our own people, which we are gradually getting to see the importance, the diasporans, obviously this is going to be a very key tool for them to know. So all of these things informed the creation of this flag.
So when you design flag, I know that every single thing here means something.
Of course.
So let's start with, we know the African map, that's obvious. And the green, let's start with the green. What does that green mean?
Actually, before we even go to the green, I want to just explain that you see some lines in
Lines.
Africa. And those lines are actually just showing the economic blocks.
Right.
Because first you have to divide, and that's key over the green. And of course, green actually is adapted from the African Union flag itself, which has already got that flag. Every time you have to make sure you have a connect.
A connection,
you have to connect with where you are,
right.
so that the project or whatever you do has got a synergy and it's sustained.
Okay.
That's one issue. So by adapting that, it's showing already that the diaspora is coming to be part of something.
Okay.
Now the green, which is evergreen, which I call it, is obviously a color representing growth. It's also very key in the word of hope and resilience.
Okay.
So these are the key reasons why that green would start to come.
Okay.
Then the next key color, which is its complementary, is the gold color. And here the gold is representing the resilience of the continent and also the resource value, the value of the richness and the wealth of our continent. So it's just more than gold, but really signifying all our the wealth. So those were two issues in terms of those two colors. The other two colors, which is black and white, obviously we all know black is really naturally signifying our identity. We don't need to explain that too much. But the main reason around there is that it's being complemented by white. You see, and I was explaining earlier on that you see, to be able to see a light, you need a background, a backdrop. And this is the backdrop from which the diaspora is coming from. They are coming from the world. That is why it is described as the globe.
Okay.
So with all these two major components, we are now coming to see why they are coming. Now, those are just referring to the stars on the map of Africa. But now you see the sixth flag, the sixth star, which is approaching, yes, which is coming, it's coming, yes, it's coming.
Outside
it's coming.
the continent,
It's coming, and it's actually embracing, if you look closer.
Okay.
The 2 points touch the continent.
Yes,
but
yes.
you see, you realize that it's got a tail, and that tail is also showing
It's
that it's
a
coming.
trail.
It's coming.
You know what?
It's bringing. It's coming with goodness. It's coming with.
I almost said,
all
where
the
is a
support.
trail if it was coming?
Yes.
But I didn't see the trail till now.
Until now, yes.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
I said to you, this was somebody who is just incredible. And I want to just, if Professor would allow me, one of the things too, we want people and your audience to understand that this is the Diaspora Flag. It has nothing to do with DAF at all, and other than we helped pull it together. This is the flag. They can have the flag. They can,
and here it is. What's my camera?
Yes, yeah. They can have the flag. We can send them the PDF. They can make flags and give them that kind of thing. DAF does not make any money out of the flag at all.
How do we get copies of this?
As Sue said, all they have to do is to contact DAF, and DAF will send them the PDF, and they can make flags themselves.
Okay.
You see, during this month, this Black History Month, from today is the first day of Black History Month, and this is why we're coming here, giving you the flag, and then letting your audience know that the flag is available.
Absolutely.
That's number one. Then tomorrow, 0202. 2022.
Right.
We're actually doing a launch of the flag. We're actually going to house the flag at the Diaspora Africa Forum.
Okay.
They're at the W.E.B. Du Bois Center.
Okay.
We have a really nice ceremony prepared, and we're very, very excited about it. Very, very excited about it.
Very good. Well, I had a quick question about the flag. And if I had the opportunity, I would ask the designer of the AU flag, but I don't have the opportunity. So since I have you, I'll ask you. 90%, almost 90% of the flags on this continent has three dominant colors: red, yellow, and green, with Nigeria and a few other countries being the outliers, right? Where's the yellow and where's the red?
Yes, I'll tell you one thing about colors. Actually, nobody owns any color.
Okay.
Normally, colors are branded for people. There's something they call African flag colors. which is very interesting, which are the red, yellow, and green. So you realize that all the pre-independent, post-independent countries have those three colors steeply in their flags. And normally those colors were representing, as we've said here, the green to represent the red to represent, of course, that's the blood that was shed, or etc., etc., and the gold representing the resource.
Okay.
But all of these things were a brand.
Right.
Now you realize that as time went on, you would see that the countries that were more Islamic or more Arabic, they had more of white and green.
White and green and red.
And that is why you see Libya's color like that, from like Saudi Arabia. That is why you still see the green in many of the Middle East countries. And that is how come Nigeria, being a predominantly Muslim country, seeing why green is there. So colors, we can make it in our minds. But a beautiful thing about what we are doing here, we are giving proper meaning. Okay. We're not trying to overstep or be branded. The difference about what we are doing here, that's, in fact, that is the key point of this beautiful flag, is that finally we are trying to identify ourselves.
Okay. Now, what are you doing to make sure that 50 years from now, because in every country we know the person who designed that flag. So in most countries it's a household name. How are you going to be remembered by this? What is being taken? What steps are being taken to make sure that the designer of the Diaspora flag is forever known and not just forgotten?
No, I want to comment on that. She can, but I'll just give a small preamble, if that's okay. Because normally, you see, when you're talking about identity and intellectual identity, we are all on that journey still on the continent. And we're still grappling with what that really means. In other parts of the world, those things are far more advanced. So there's a direct link between the personality and the product, and they always go together. Okay. In our part of the world, normally we separate the two, and we handle the personality different, and the product goes differently. But the beautiful thing about what you're doing, in fact, this is actually part of the contribution of the diaspora, that actually we are one in ourselves. Yes. So this time, with the know-how that they have about understanding what intellectual property actually means, they have got the zeal and understanding on how to market and brand and make sure that the originator stays the same. Okay. And that is very important. That goes back to also some of our issues to do with colonization and us really believing in ourselves. Yes, okay. So this actually is all about believing in ourselves, and this is where the strong point is going to be made. And I know the diasporans who are hungry to come and say we are here are coming with something, so they will be the protectors.
Did you live in a diaspora?
Yes, of course. Okay. Yes, I also did.
These questions for both of you, and I know you have to touch on that name thing. As we discussed collaboration between historical and continental diaspora, it seems like there is friction, some type of friction. We wish there was no friction at all. But the two of you working together, what's that working relation have been to, like? You're a continental diaspora, you're a historical diaspora, but you've come together and she painted this glowing introduction of you. What is that working relationship been like?
Can I answer that?
Go right ahead.
Well, first of all, I want to go back to your question about how he's going to be known. ACA, which is our communications company, we're handling a lot of the PR and the advertising and that kind of thing, about the flag. We are committed to Professor. All the wonderful things that I said about him, we really believe that.
I know you.
And so
it wouldn't come out of your mouth if you didn't.
We really believe that.
Right.
And so when we finish with our production and all the things that we're going to be doing to promote it, people are going to know his name, just like the person who did the American flag, Betsy Ross, isn't that her name? Well, they're going to know that Professor Kwame Ado did this flag. Okay. So we're committed to that. Okay. Professor is, again, so humble, and, you know, we push him more than he pushes himself. Right. So he's stepped up, and, you know, he's doing like these interviews and stuff like that. Professor, you know, so, well, just say that Dav created it. I said, I'm not saying Dav created it. You know, you designed it. So that's what I'm saying. We're very committed to that. So I wanted to answer that question.
Okay.
What was the other question?
Working relationship between...
Oh, we have a wonderful work. From the very, very beginning, the Colombia ambassador, Claudia, who is my good friend, she's the dean of the diplomatic corps. She kept talking about this Professor Kwame Ado. She kept talking about him. That was like 9 years ago. She said, you got to know him. He's done so much incredible work in her country. So she knows him from there. So she is the one who actually introduced us. And from there, it was a match made in heaven. My brother, my sister, you know, they all love him almost as much as I do.
Almost.
Almost. And so, you know, and I'm almost like a mother hen with him. Okay, let's do this, Professor. Are you okay? You know, because I see how, and a lot of times what happens is that when you're a genius, a lot of times you're misunderstood, number one. Yeah. Number two, a lot of times you don't get the credit that you deserve. And particularly sometimes at home, you don't get it.
And the true geniuses don't go for the credit.
No. They just do the work. Yes. They just do the work. And he's a perfect example of that as well.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, if I had my way, we'll be talking about this diaspora and everything. And I think I want to invite you guys back. Because the fight that I started, I don't think we've settled.
No. You didn't. We
have to wrap it up here. But another day we'll pick up on that fight. So I really want to thank you guys, Mama T, Professor Ado, and Ambassador Erica Bennett. You guys have made this special edition of Diaspora Weekly everything that I anticipated it to be. So thank you.
Well, we just want to say thank you. We want to say thank you, and you continue to do the good work.
Thank you.
Continue to do the good work, and just know that we're here to support you in whatever way we can.
Absolutely. Thank you. And to you, the viewers, thank you for watching. And don't forget the newest and the freest of all the money transfer companies, Tap Send. You know, I don't know where they got that name from, but you know what? Tap Send. I guess they're talking about you tap, and then you send. Download their app, Play Store, Google Store, App Store. You can get it and tap it. When you use DNT to download it as your code, you get £5, €5, or $10, whichever your selection is. Free money towards your first transaction. And it's a beautiful, nice company operating out of UK. You can send money through them throughout Europe. And they don't like to say they say you can send money, but we know the money is sent from outside into the country. So let me just go ahead and say it. Send money from France, Belgium, Netherlands, UK, Italy, Canada, United States, to Africa, 19 countries, including Ghana, Senegal, and all those other countries. So Tap, thank you for sponsoring us. So stay tuned for our programming, and I'd like to thank my guest again.
Thank you for having us.
Bye-bye.